We all know Steve is extraordinarily strong, to the point where it's not humanly possible. But how does his athleticism hold up? Today, we are going to test him in 14 different track and field events, ranging from easy to life-threatening. Since each Minecraft block is equal to 1 meter, this makes it super easy to set everything up. Now, let us begin with our first event, the 100-meter dash. And we're off. Steve bursts out of the blocks and looks to use his unique sprint jumping strategy. It is the fastest natural way to move in Minecraft, but it does not compare to real life, as we can already see that world record holder Usain Bolt has already finished the race. Steve looks to finish strong and leans at the finish line with a time of 14.38 seconds. Not great for a real life track meet, but remember, he can also do this while carrying a stack of anvils. On to the 200-meter dash. I didn't feel like making a curve for this one, so we're gonna make Steve run 200 meters in a straight line. Word on the street is that a witch tried selling Steve a swiftness potion before the race, but Steve said he is not trying to get caught doping in the slap-just-slap video. After reaching the halfway point, Steve ran the same 100-meter time in this race as he did in his 100-meter race. My man Usain Bolt is already done by now, and Steve really needs to pick up the pace here. With the finish line just ahead of him, he looks to finish strong. And just before the 30-second mark, Steve crosses the finish line with a time of 28.42 seconds. Not great either, but let's see how he can do in the 400 meters. After the gun, Steve blasts off like he usually does and reaches the 100 meter mark at the same time of 14.38 seconds. Now at the 200 meter mark, he is at 28.42 seconds like usual. If you thought that was too fast, it was because I made a few cuts so you don't get bored. Anyways, by now, Wade Van Niekerk has finished his record-breaking 400 meters, and Steve still has a lot of work to do. Coming up on the final stretch, he is so close to the end, powers through and ends with a time of 56.53 seconds. Not bad. The 800 meters is where it gets really interesting. As usual, Steve begins off with sprint jumping through 100 meters at the same time, 200 meters as his usual, and now 400 meters at his usual pace. The thing about Steve is that he can hold his all-out sprint for a good while. He passes the 500 and the 600 meter mark, and when he passes 700, that's about when David Rudisha finished his record-breaking 800 meter run. Now Steve is going all out. He's looking real good out here. Can he break 150? Nah, so close though. Steve finishes with a time of 1 minute and 52.81 seconds, which is honestly incredible. That is an amazing time for most of the population, but not quite world class. From this race, we can see that Steve has insane speed endurance, so let's see how he does in the 1500. Judging from the 800 meter run, we can see that Steve can essentially run at the same speed forever, and his 1500 meter run time could have the potential to be world class. But we forgot to factor in something: hunger. For the first few races, Steve can run the distance without needing any food, but as the distances get longer and longer, he can only run at top speed for so long. Steve starts out the same, reaching his 100, 200, 400, and 800 meter times like usual. However, his hunger is quickly deteriorating. That being said, he continues like usual for a bit, surpassing 1,000 meters in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Unfortunately for him, he is almost completely out of hunger, and with just about 400 meters left to go, he loses the ability to sprint. This is really heartbreaking, as he really would have had a historic 1500 meter time with more hunger. Despite this, will Steve still manage to get a decent time? At around 1300 meters for Steve, Hicham El Garouz completed his world record run for the metric mile. With the finish line in sight, Steve is trying harder and harder to stay closer and closer. He just wants the race to be over. We can see Steve strut along, running with the hop, skip, and a jump. And finally, after all he's been through this race, Steve manages to cross the finish line with a time of 4 minutes and 17.72 seconds. Believe it or not, this was actually the fastest natural way I could get Steve over the finish line. I tried sprinting without jumping, sprinting with occasional jumps, but the usual sprint jump method was just slightly better. I was really thinking about making Steve do the 3K, but after what happened in this race, I kinda don't want to. Now, let's move on to some field events. First field event is a long jump. I'm not going to allow Steve to jump during the run-up just so it won't get confused with the triple jump. Anyways, Steve's first jump doesn't look too good. Let's check the replay. He ends up with a 3.65 meter first jump. Can he do better on the second? By the way, I'm not being that precise with the measurements, so don't get mad if I miss a centimeter. This time, according to the replay, he jumped 3.90 meters. Now for the final jump, can he surpass the 4 meter barrier? We all know he's capable of doing a 4 block jump, so can he show it off now? That jump looked good. Let's see what he got. 4.5 meters. That blows his previous jump out of the water. Well done, Steve. Let's ignore that Mike Powell has nearly jumped twice as far. Alright, on to the triple jump. Now for the obscure triple jump. Steve is used to triple jumping a lot in a way, so this shouldn't be a problem. On his first jump, it looks like he jumps a little too early and ends up with an alright result of 11.60 meters. In case you're wondering, Steve is allowed to jump on the white block here, just not past it. On his second jump, he times it much better. That looked real good, at least good in Minecraft, not compared to Jonathan Edwards' world record. He jumps 12.45 meters this time, a huge improvement. I don't think it can get much higher from here, but we'll see. All it takes is a hop, skip, and a jump, and Steve jumps 10 centimeters further. 12.55 meters is crazy. Well, for a block game with somewhat realistic physics. Now it's time for the high jump. Steve is pretty good at jumping constantly, as we saw with his sprint jumping, so let's see his vertical. For this, we're going to measure using snow blocks, since they give more precise measurements. Each snow tile equals to 12.5 centimeters, and they are stackable, so that makes it easy. Steve easily jumps over 12.5 centimeters, 25 centimeters, 37.5 centimeters, and 50 centimeters. Just so we don't tire Steve out, we're moving the bar, or snow, up to 1 full meter, or 1 block tall. He goes over that easily. Now for 1.125 meters. Light work for him. 1.25 meters, bingo, no problem for him. Up to 13.75 meters, he gets it. Now for 1.5 meters, or 1.5 blocks. Let's see if he can clear that. Oof, he does not. And as you'd expect, he does not clear on his following 2 attempts. So he's gonna have to settle for a final height of 1.375. To compare this to the world record, Javier Sotomayor's world record is more than 1 meter, or 1 block taller than Steve's jump. In Minecraft, this is what the world record jump looks like. And as a matter of fact, Steve can only jump this high with a potion of leaping. Hey, make sure Steve takes a drug test after this. Next is the pole vaults. The only way I thought of doing this in Minecraft is by using a wind charge, which of course isn't accurate to the real world, but is similar enough. We're starting off easy. 1 meter, easy. 2 meters, easy. 3 meters, too easy. 4 meters, way too easy. Steve ain't holding back. 5 meters, also very easy. Let's see how he does for 6 meters. Dang, this dude goes flying over the bar. Let's try 7 meters, way past one of Mono Duplantis' 17 world records. Bang! Easiest thing of Steve's life. 8 meters. Bang! Bro is soaring. 9 meters. Makes it look easy every time. Now Steve is going higher than anyone has ever long jumped. Double digits club. 10 meters is no problem for him. Let's see 11 meters. He passes the bar too. Now we're going up in half increments. Let's see 11.5. First attempt, fail. Second attempt, fail. Can Steve actually get over 11.5? He must have ran out of steam, because I know this dude can probably jump way higher than that. At least he made the world record look like a practice run. You guys should test that in one of your worlds and see if you can get better than 11 meters flat. I know you can. Back to running again. We have the 110 meter hurdles. I doubt this will be a challenge for Stevie Boy. For the 110 meter hurdles, there are 10 hurdles. The first is placed at around the 14 meter mark, then the next 9 are each 9 meters apart. So I used that pattern in the video to make it more realistic. Let's start. Steve gets out of the gate fast and gets over the first hurdle with ease, now over the second and the third. It's like a whole rhythm for him. Now the fourth and soon the fifth. Halfway there, after the 6th and the 7th hurdle, we can see Aries Merritt's world record past the finish line. Now the 9th and the 10th, he just has to finish strong. Bang, he finishes that with a time of 16.58 seconds. Not bad for a dude who jumps over actual iron bars. Dude is risking his life out here. Now let's do the same thing except for 400 meters. Like last time, Steve will jump over 10 hurdles, except they are instead placed 35 blocks apart from each other. Let's go. Steve starts off quick, charging rapidly to that first hurdle. These hurdles are placed super far apart, but Steve doesn't care. He passes the second one with these, then the third at about 110 meters. He still has work to do. He gets over 4, then 5. I would say lactic acid would kick in, but it's not like that's gonna matter for him. At the 30-second mark, he passes the 6th hurdle. This looks like a sub 60-second run. Can he keep it up? As he passes the 7th and eventually the 8th, we can now compare this to Karsten Warholm's world record, which finishes as Steve jumps over the 9th hurdle. Finally, at the final stretch, he passes the 10th and final hurdle and looks to finish the race. He passes the finish line in 57.46 seconds, less than a second slower than his 400-meter personal record. Well done. Next up, we have more field events. For these field events, I kind of had to improvise how they worked. So for the shot put, I'm going to make Steve drop an item with momentum. You'll see. First attempt at the shot put, bruh, just over 3 meters for the first attempt. Now for number 2, a little bit better, getting over the 4 meter mark. Here's the third and final shot that looked a little better, 4.45 meters. To put this into perspective, here is Ryan Krauser's world record. It is literally almost off screen. I think it is safe to say that unless the shot is made out of heavy gold, that the shot put event is not for Steve. Onto the discus throw, or the snowball throw. Yeah, I had to make use of what's actually available in Minecraft, okay? Either way, his first throw doesn't even come close to Mikolas Alekna's world record, as Steve launches a snowball just under 55 meters. His next throw is a little better, getting 57.10 meters, and for his third and final try, he gets his worst throw so far of 54 meters flat. He can probably throw further, but as of right now, his personal best is just over 57 meters, which won't win you anything at the Olympics, but at the same time, isn't even that terrible. Let me know if you can do better. Alas, we get to the final event, the javelin throw. Of course, we will be using the trident for this one, because honestly, it couldn't be a more perfect choice. Steve's first throw is an absolute snipe toss piss missile. It lands a few meters away from the modern world record held by Jan Zielinski. Steve's throw of 91.55 meters would have gotten him second in the Olympics. His second throw was another bomb, throwing 89.5 meters, which would have also gotten him second at the Olympics. I think Jason Momoa is playing the wrong character in the Minecraft movie, because Steve is out here in Minecraft launching tridents like Aquaman, but you haven't seen it all yet. This is it, his final attempt. Bang! Aquaman Steve shatters his personal best by over 10 meters because he launches this thing 103 meters. What a beautiful showcase of athleticism by Steve. Simply incredible. Now, as a bonus event, we can find out Steve's point total in the decathlon. Steve has done 14 events today, 10 of which take place in the real decathlon. If we take Steve's results, we can determine a point total for each of them using obscure math or something. So in total, his scores from the 100 meters, long jump, shot put, high jump, 400 meters, 110 meter hurdles, discus, pole vault, javelin, and 1500 meters all amount to a grand total of 8,605 points. Wow, that's actually crazy, I can't lie. That is if you count magic wind charges as a valid replacement for a pole vault. I mean, seriously, that got him 3,138 points. Man, Steve is quite the decathlete as well. But from what we can tell from this video, we can determine that Steve from Minecraft can be an insane athlete, just in certain specific events. Because if Steve were to do cross country, I don't think he would survive. Subscribe!